My name is Javier Stauring, and I work with a nonprofit called Healing Dialogue in Action. We work with families who had loved ones murdered and families who have loved ones serving life sentences in prison for murder. And we also work with people inside prison to help them recognize the harm that they've caused, take responsibility, and get to a point where they want to make amends. We have a justice system that prioritizes punishment as a form of justice over anything else. And unfortunately, what happens then is that we are perpetuating a cycle of violence, right? So somebody commits a violent act, there are people injured on both sides, and our justice system says, okay, so how do we punish them? We've punished them, okay, justice has been served. And in reality, that does very little to respond to the needs of the victims of the crime, as well as the people who perpetrated the crime. And up until a few years ago, very few people who were serving life sentences in California state prisons were afforded an opportunity to come out. But in the last 5 years, things have been changing, and now there's more of an opportunity for people who were sentenced to life in prison, in particular if you were under the age of 18 at the time of the crime, for them to come home.
2 weeks ago, I just buried a nephew. He was murdered. It's not the first time, but it really hurt.
When we're working with people inside prison, we're accompanying them through journeys that take them through birth, childhood, which I've never met somebody in prison serving a life sentence that didn't have a horrible childhood where they were victims first and then out of that pain harmed other people. So to work with them in such an intimate way is truly a blessing. Inside prisons, we have a curriculum that focuses on helping the people become aware of the harm that they've caused through their crimes. And that starts with first them reflecting on their own childhood experiences. Even before their childhood, we try to get people to reflect on how where they grew up, the experiences that they suffered might have led to them then taking that pain and injuring others. And then once we get past that area, we get them in touch with the harm that they committed in very intimate ways by inviting survivors in to share their personal stories.
I never knew anybody that had a child that went to prison or was convicted of murder or anything. I didn't really know how to take it, how to deal with it.
The event that we're having at Cal State LA is similar to the events that we have inside prisons. This is the first time that we're doing it outside of a prison. And we're bringing together 20 family members who had a loved one murdered with 20 people who served over 20 years in prison for murder. We are also including youth from the inner city to share their stories, and we're inviting policymakers, people with influence that can join us in working together to create a vision for safe communities. For anybody who's interested in the work that we do, of working with everybody who's been impacted by violence, you can go to www.healingdialogueinaction.org.